Hello and welcome to another Moment of Consequence, another battle report series. Game headed your way. It's Empire versus Lizardmen. I got to meet and play with somebody who actually helped me design this slide that you're looking at right now. His name's Dylan, and he is an Empire player. He has a beautifully painted Ostland themed Empire that is really, really cool and was so much fun to play against. He got actually a couple units painted just for this battle, so I thought that was really, really cool. I had the opportunity to bring my Lizardmen. I know that he did not have some Lizardmen in his group that he currently played against, so I tried to bring an army that I thought he might not be able to see or play against, and I brought a pretty strong 2-slan Lizardmen list. Right here are our lists that we have today. I brought a level 2 with a level 5, so that level 2 has actually a total of 7 spells to cast. And then the slan, what I didn't write down, but what the slan's combo really focused around was being able to bring the Jade Casket with the Plaque of Knowledge. That item and that spell allows me to regenerate a single miniature single model back to the battlefield at full strength. Can obviously still be dispelled and sent back to death with a successful dispel, but obviously that is very, very strong. And so I ran a Stegodon and a Mummified Slan Mage Priest to try to balance that out. On the other side, playing against the Empire from Ostland, we had a lot of really thematic and cool units with some detachments. The Knightly Order, especially for 320 points, were very, very strong. They did very well this battle, and I can't wait for you guys to watch them basically hold up an entire flank by themselves. Unfortunately, the Wizard got killed very, very early. He kind of stuck his nose out just a bit too far, and the Stegodon is going to make short work of him. But the Warrior Priest especially was a other unit and model that did very, very well for the Empire. So hope you guys enjoy, and we will see you soon. Hello and welcome, friends, to another episode of Moments of Consequence, a Warhammer Renaissance battle series report. Today we have this awesome battlefield up in Kansas City. I'm playing a new friend we just met, Dylan. Dylan, welcome.
Good to be here.
And Dylan has an exquisitely painted Empire army. I have brought my Lizardmen, and we rolled on the streamlined setup rules. We got the 2 objectives, so we are playing both Slay the Warlord, which is amazing, so much fun, and we are also playing the Take the Relic, which is the magic cards in the middle. We also rolled on the setup, we rolled the Attackers and Defenders, or also called Encircled. Dylan chose to be the Defender, and set up his army first in a kind of a bulwark defensive position with an awesome cannon and an incredible battle line. And I am the attacking Lizardmen, set up second and get the first turn. So we will introduce the armies and the mundane right after this.
All right, everybody, I'm here today with my Ostland-themed Empire army. Starting out here on the far left flank, we got a unit of Knightly Order. They have full plate armor, full plate armor, shields, lances, and Barrett warhorses. Over here, I got a unit of, I believe, 24 swordsmen with light armor and shields, and a detachment of handgunners with light armor. Over here, we got the great swords. They have double-handed weapons and light armor. Inside this unit, I have my general and my BSB, and they have a detachment of archers. I forgot to say, over here, I have my level 3 wizard with the swordsman.
Very nice.
Over here, we got a brand new unit of 24 halberdiers. They are equipped with the warrior priest and halberdiers and light armor. And they have an attachment of handgunners with light armor. Up here, I have the normal cannon, not a great cannon, for points. And then next to them, I have a unit of 5 pistoliers, not skirmishing, so they're in fast cab today.
So tell the story real quick about your halberdiers and your pistoliers. Tell that story real quick.
Yeah, so I got the call last week to do this battle report, so I wanted to get some new stuff painted up. So I got these 5 pistoliers and this whole unit painted up within this week for this battle report.
Very, very cool.
They look great, Dylan.
Thank you.
All right, for my Lizardmen, I've got 10 blowpipe skirmishing skinks. I've got 3 jungle swarms, also in skirmish. I've got 3 Croxagores. They don't have any command, so it's just a unit of 3 Croxagores. And then I had a unit of 10 Saurus with shield and hand weapon. I've got my level 2, who's my general, and my BSB is a living Sland Mage Priest Champion, I want to believe that's what they're called. And then my level 5 is a mummified Sland Mage Priest. And yeah, he's a mummified Sland, so he's level 5. Over here, I've got 25 skinks with 2 Croxagores in it and a champion, a unit champion as well in that. So full command with a unit champion. In this Stegodon, it's just a normal Stegodon, no great bow, just the 200-point version, which has 8 skinks, which all have thrown weapons. And then finally over here, I have 6 red-crested, cold one skink riders. All right, after the top and bottom of turn 1, we went ahead and played both the top and bottom. We have the battle lines have both moved up. There was a little bit of indiscriminate shooting towards the swarms. Did 2 wounds from the... Are those the...
Handgunners.
Handgunners. Handgunners, very nice. The cannon, unfortunately, misfired, trying to shoot at the Stegodon. The longbowmen did 2 wounds to the skinks. And the poor skinks, I deployed them too far from the general. Yet again, they failed their stupidity like they always do. And they are back here stupid for the turn. And the knights are mounting on the flank. That was the top and bottom of turn 1. All right. On the top of turn 2, we had a couple more things happen. The unit of red-crested cold one skink cavalry is stupid again for a second turn, so they have done nothing 2 turns in a row. Because of that, I had to turn my skinks to face the knights and their impending flank charge. I had to have something to brace that. The Stegodon charged in, did 2 wounds to the wizard, which was not enough to kill the wizard, but also the crew and the Stegodon did some impact hits and some wounds to the swordsman, I believe. Correct? Swordsman? Yep. And then the great swords took a Doomfire Ring firebolt to the face. Other than that, there was a lot of Dispel Scrolls that prevented any big spells from going off. There was a Total Power magic card already used. Eventful, but not turn 2, top of turn 2 magic phase. So yeah, nobody has claimed the middle objective. Nobody has slain the warlord yet. Over here, the Pistoliers were shot and mowed down by the skink blowpipes. They shot with poison blowpipes and did 4 wounds, which caused a panic check, which made the remaining Pistolier flee towards the nearest table edge away from the shooting. So that was the top of turn 2.
All right, so Empire, bottom of turn 2. The Knights charged in. We managed to kill a Croxagore and 3 skinks, but they were able to hold in their high leadership. Over here, the Stegodon was able to kill off the Wizard and one of the Swordsmen, but the Swordsmen were able to win the combat through combat resolution, but the Stegodon held. The magic phase, the Slan moved behind my lines over here. My handgunners were able to take out a few of the swarm. And what else happened in the magic phase?
That's it. The Doomfire Ring to the Great Swords.
Doomfire Ring, the Great Swords, killing 2 of them.
And that's it. Not a whole lot of stuff. Not a low winds of magic.
Just grinding through the battle. On to turn 3.
All right. At the end of the top of 3, there was a bunch of charges that happened throughout the battlefield. The Great Crested Skinks charged over here in the flank of the Knights. The battle lines finally met over here. The Croxagores charged, the Saurus unit charged, and these 2 units over here kind of stayed put. The Croxagores met an untimely end. They got absolutely obliterated by the Phalanx Standard with 14 halberdier attacks coming into the Croxagores toughness 4. It was just too much. It killed them all. I teleported the mummified Slan behind the line and then charged into the rear during my beginning of the movement phase. So that was last magic phase that I teleported him into the back lines. There was a challenge that was issued, and the Lord was vanquished in the first round of combat by the mummified Slan Mage Priest. And then over here, the Knights with their armor 1-up was definitely enough to make this combat difficult for the Lizardmen. The Skinks, even with the Stubborn banner, they ran and fled from the Knights because they won combat too much. The flank didn't matter. There was no wounds done to the Knights. All of them got saved. So this flank is not looking good. And thankfully, the magic phase, the wizard has been slain, and the living Slan Mage Priest is able to get the Dance of Despair off on number 5 over here on the Halberdiers, and Earthblood on to the Slan, making him Strength 10, Toughness 8. So that was turn 3.
All right, Empire, bottom of turn 3. Start over here. The Knights were able to take out the Great Crested Skin Cold One Riders and move on forward. They're still fleeing. Over here, we had both of our attachments charge up. We won the combat here, and they held. The Empire lost the combat here, but they were stubborn, managed to hold both units over here.
Hold the line, you dogs!
The cannon unfortunately misfired again on its second shot, so it blew up and did nothing this game. And the handgunners just fired a couple of shots in the swarm and did nothing. In magic phase, we managed to dispel the Despair Dance on the Halberdiers. They're back in action. So we'll see what happens turn 4.
All right, at the end of the top of turn 4, we had a bunch of crazy things happen. We had the BSB in the middle with his unit of greatswords finally perish and break. The Mummy Slan and the Croxagore tried to chase down both the detachment and the unit, but didn't get it done. Only got to chase down the detachment. The Swarms charged in, got countercharged, and destroyed. The Skinks shot down some of the gunners. Over here, the Skinks rallied, and the Stegodon combat, again, kind of just continued to grind, although finally massive wounds were put on to the Stegodon. 3 wounds were put on that phase, that combat phase by the regiments. The Stegodon lost, but passed the break check. The Slan transported the Mummy Slan into the flank of these Dastardly Knights to try to get some more pressure on them. And that is the end of top of turn 4.
All right, Empire, bottom of 4. Not too much happening in this turn. The Knights over here just reformed to face their enemy. Over here, we fought off the Stegodon. We came up to a draw, so nothing really happened there. We killed the rebels over here and freed up that unit again. The handgunners just repositioned. And the Great Swordsmen just run off the field. And that was the Empire turn.
All right, at the end of the top of turn 5, we had a very consequential turn. The Knights were charged by both of these units over here to the right, and those units ended up winning combat by 2, and the Knights fled on a roll of 5, and they fled 10 inches away, and both of those units rolled exactly 9 and could not cut them down, so they got away. The Stegodon was finally slain here in the middle by this unit that had worked all game so valiantly, so hard to destroy that. However, in the magic phase, the Slan Jade casketed the Stegodon right back up, which is very, very strong, and it is like the look of dismay on Dylan's face will make grown men cry. It was so sad, but yeah, Jade casket the Stegodon back up. Over here, Dance of Despair was dispelled and did not get casted, and the Skinks moved up, shot, and whiffed hard on trying to kill the unit, and the Kroxigor got out of the shooting arc, and that was the top of turn 5.
All right, bottom of 5, we're getting down to it. The Knights over here rallied and just faced the Skinks that are coming for them. Over here, the handgunners shot into the Saurus warriors and didn't do much, so they killed 1. Swords were repositioned to face towards the center. Crown of Tydron was cast on the halberdiers, killing 2 of them. And the other slan was, the mummy slan, was teleported over here to go in their flank. And these guys just moved up. We did roll off to see if there's a 6th turn, and we did get it, so we'll be back with 1 more turn.
All right, at the top of turn 6, those Skinks in the corner did not charge those. They stayed out of combat and are going to keep the Knights occupied. While over here, the unfortunately, the Stegodon did not get dispelled from the Jade Casket spell. The 2 slans charged the unit of halberdiers, killed the warrior priest, and ran down the halberdiers. And the Kroxigor charged into the side of the gunners and only did 1 damage, and the gunners stayed, and the Skinks did not choose to shoot anything this turn, and that was the top of turn 6.
Here we are, end of the battle. It is all over. These Knights charged in again, tried to do the thing, but didn't do enough wounds on the Skinks, and just kind of both just putter in there. Over here, we had the dance on us, so he's moved up 4 inches and didn't really do anything. Not much happened else. And that is the game. And the game, it comes down to points. Barrett got both objectives, so he is the winner today. The Lizardmen got a W. But it was a hard-fought battle, and the Empire did well. So we'll come back to you in a second with a post-game interview.
All right, we are here post-game with Dylan. We just got done playing our game on Kindle's beautiful board with all of his amazing terrain that he has for us. Dylan, it was wonderful to meet you. It was wonderful to play against you. You have an amazingly beautiful army. And I did a similar thing with my Nurgle. A couple battle reports ago, I had basically 30 models that I had gotten ready for that battle report. And so to see you do it too is just awesome and so inspirational, and makes me want to go home and model and hobby 2 or 3 units immediately and get more done. So hats off to you. Thanks for playing with me, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It was fun to be on the channel. Yeah, when it comes to the painting, it's always looking for some kind of motivation to get hobby stuff done. So anytime you have a game scheduled on the weekend or something like that, it's fun to kind of plan out your army early and then figure out what new pieces you can add to it. That's just kind of what I did, and I do that a lot of times when I play games. I just try to keep doing little projects, give yourself achievable goals throughout the week so you're not stressing about it, and then just get going. But yeah, it was fun playing the whole army. It was fun seeing painted Lizardmen for the first time, I think, in my hobby career.
Is that really
So that
true?
was really fun. Yeah, I used to play a buddy who played Lizardmen, but that definitely was not painted. We were too early in the hobby then. So it was great to see him. The double slam, I don't like.
I will never play it against you again. You'll never see it again. You'll never see it again. I have always wanted the double slam to be effective, and off camera, I have failed miserably with it. And I've been lucky that 2 times now I have been able to use it to some success, and I've changed the items a little bit and kind of refined it. I've got it in a place that I really like, and you'll never see it again, my friend, I promise.
But the rest of the army, I felt like I at least had some kind of counter to it or something to do about it. The Knights did amazing over there on the flank.
So good.
I just wish they'd get kind of involved in the main combats. But getting those swordsmen getting charged immediately was going into the battle. The whole plan was to not get them too much into combat, but I just totally misplayed, putting them too far forward, and that Stegodon just got in there and did work.
Thankfully he got the unit he whittled down the unit just enough. But I thought he was going to far and away run away. I thought he was going to run away with that combat. And he did not do enough damage. Your static combat res was too good for too long. Just did horde empire mentality type things, and it was really, really good.
Yeah, quantity has a quality all its own. I was very happy to see the halberdiers do something good. You managed to kind of negate them later in the game with your magic and different placement, but they at least got to destroy the cross-score unit, and that was what I wanted to see.
Yeah, they got shenanigans a little bit on the magic with that traitor spell tying them up, but overall, they were really effective with the warrior priest. I mean, that was a cheap, warrior priest included. How much was that unit roughly?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a great question.
I felt like that unit was very effective for its point cost. It seemed to do really
Warrior
well.
Priest itself was 100, because I had the Blade of Leaping Bronze, and then the Halberdiers on top of that are 176, including the Phalanx standard.
That's still a cheap unit.
Yeah,
I mean,
so it's not bad.
they definitely, they killed Croxors, they killed Swarms, they threatened the objective at the end of the game. I'd say you got really good value out of them.
I liked all of the Knights. The Knights 1-up armor save was so annoying because Strength 4 feels like very easy to still come by, but it doesn't matter if they can't. That's still a 2-up, which is what the dice roll was anyways.
Yeah, you need some kind of specialized unit or some kind of can opener to really get into them.
You have to, and it's hard to have those. And at least get the right matchups on the flanks and all that stuff. What did you think of the streamlined rules? I know we played those. I know it's the first time you've ever played with rules like that. I view them very much as a work in progress. I don't think that they're done by any means. We rolled some pretty high variance stuff. Mm-hmm. We rolled 12 twice, which is that's Mox cars. You're not supposed to do that in standard deviation, blah, blah, blah. But what were your thoughts? What'd you think?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I think Top, you were saying our game might have been a bit more of an outlier in terms of how it's supposed to work. So we rolled like crazy for a lot of those. We had 3 hills in deployment zones. We got high rolls for all the things, we had 2 buildings. So it created a really cool table, especially once you add some kind of scatter and fluff pieces in there. It really makes it an interesting table. So I thought it was fun to play on.
Cool. Yeah, I would agree. I think Kendall did a great job of helping. We are up in Kansas City, and that's kind of how we got connected with each other is the mutual, having that mutual in between intermediary. So we are able to play on his table with his terrain and his mat, and it's really, really nice. I love the roads that he got custom made. That they had no benefit or no impact on the game. From a rules wise or an impact from that, but from an aesthetic standpoint was just, one of the most beautiful battlefields you can possibly play on.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was the roads and the trees scattered around, purely aesthetic. I'd say the rules were solid too. I really like the ability to add those different pieces to be able to add variety to the board. But one thing I will say is I would probably tone down the total amount of generated possibilities, just because this battle, it worked really well. I felt like it was still open, but I feel like a little bit different pieces, or maybe, just depending on what you're putting on the board, it could get a little congested. This battle wasn't, but my fear would be it get congested.
I'm going to preview it here on the pod for right here, right now. I think what I'm going to change it to is minus whatever gets put in the middle. So when you do the objective,
and also account for the hills in the deployment section too.
You might have to change the order of how you do things on that. That would be
maybe do hills first. That way you know how many pieces are already on the board from that generator, as per Baldur's rules, right?
Yeah.
And then from there you randomize the fluff pieces that make up the rest. So.
Yeah, I like that a lot. What other armies do you have, Dylan? Tell us a little bit about your Warhammer. Let's do a real quick interview, and then we will wrap this post game up and get you on your way. So what other armies do you have? What's kind of your elevator pitch? What's your background to Warhammer in general?
Yeah, so real quick, I got into the hobby with Warhammer Fantasy a couple of years ago. Actually, funnily enough, I got into fantasy about a month before Sigmar came out, so that was really fun. But I started collecting there. I got some free models from a buddy's brother. So I started collecting Skaven when I started out. Quickly got a large army of them. Moved on to Empire after that. Then got to 40K, other games. Play a lot of Saga, play a lot of Stargrave, Frostgrave. I'm getting into Team Yankee now. So I have a pretty diverse portfolio of games I like to play. But fantasy is always my mainstay. But I got, like I said, I got Skaven, I got Empire, and I got Beastmen on the way right now.
Your Beastmen are looking great. He's picked up. We've been playing some games. He's another Kansas City local, and we've been playing some games. This Beastman's coming along. You've been getting a lot of miniatures painted, and they're close to probably making a debut for a match report as well, right?
Yeah, they're a little ways out, but definitely for sure, a little bit more work into them. They'll be ready to go. Get 2,000 points of them painted up.
Yeah.
But I love the Beastmen. I always wanted that army, so I'm excited to have them. And then I also found a really good deal on some Dogs of War, so I'm slowly building up a Dogs of War army because I just need more humans.
That's actually just like Nick. Nick has Dogs of War, Bretonian,
And has interest in Beastmen.
and has interest in Beastmen.
Yeah,
they are
it's
the
really-
same.
You guys like the same
Yeah,
faction.
funny enough,
for
I
sure.
have enough historical stuff to proxy Bretonian anytime, so that's always been
man.
a side army I've wanted to try at some point.
You should. Their codex is good.
When you come down to Springfield, hopefully you'll give us the opportunity to see another different army and preview it for the channel. I have to ask. I ask everybody who I play and put on the channel. I ask this question: give me your favorite faction and your favorite unit entry in Warhammer Renaissance. Favorite faction, favorite unit entry.
Favorite faction, favorite unit entry. Well, I'm wearing the Empire shirt right now.
It's
I just played the
shirt.
Empire. They're my mainstay. They're my go-to. So Empire has to be my favorite thing.
No.
Favorite unit? My favorite unit in other editions has to be the Greatswords. They make them as my mainstay unit all the time. I love all their abilities and stuff. They're a bit stripped down in this edition, which is not as much fun, so they're not really my favorite then. My favorite.
You say that, but there's still now an 8-point model that with that banner
They're just
make them
different.
stubborn.
They're just different.
But 8 points a model for still
Strength
strength
5.
5. I mean, that's cheap access to strength 5.
Yeah, but it used to be 11 points a model for stubborn, weapon skill 4 with the great weapons.
The weapon skill is hard to debate, but you got to think too.
And full plate armor.
The 3, full
That was
plate's
big.
great too. Yeah.
Yeah, second one Warrior Priest, that's great. But I guess if I had to be a favorite model, it's the Warrior Priest. He doesn't have the same abilities in this, doesn't cast magic like in other editions, but just a zealot, fully there for Sigmar. How can you not love him?
Yeah, he was great.
So his special rule's really good, but I would maybe petition Valder. I would maybe write in the group and make a post because he's open to changes like that all the time. I think that the most thematic thing that Empire is missing in their army codex is they are missing the war altar. They need a war altar. It's too. I don't know how you make it balanced. All I know is every time Empire's had a war altar type piece, it's always been an auto include because the buff that has been given out by that war altar has always been too strong. Like it's like bubble immune to psychology or bubble frenzy.
Yeah, I
or
play an 8th. It's bubble hatred, and then all your bound spells go into a bubble too.
And that's too much.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
not,
over tweaked. I would argue.
I love
If Valder brought it to Renaissance, I would like to see it as maybe a bit more effective chariot, a good platform for a character to ride on that maybe has some kind of protectional benefit, maybe a ward save, something minor. Natural dispel, maybe a 5-up, 6-up ward, like something that keeps it as a chariot where its main job is to charge in, do impact hits, get a guy into combat, but not something that's, like a center mainstay piece that's, go from not existing in the game to, now this is an auto include.
Right. Yeah, that's my biggest fear with the war altar, but maybe we might pin that together.
Someday.
Someday.
I have the model, so we can make it work.
I would love to see it out there. I know Nick, if he's listening, would love to see it out there as well. All right, Dylan, thank you so much. It's been a great battle, and we look forward to playing you again. Until next time, friend.
It's been a pleasure.